Good morning to a brand new day. Time to learn and games to play. Learning things is so much fun. Learning is good for everyone.
Hello, little learners. Welcome back to our clean learning space. Do you remember what happened yesterday? A naughty, mischievous leprechaun made a big mess here in the studio. Luckily, we cleaned it up. I wonder, before we get started, did you get anything from your leprechaun trap? Somebody told me that you have to put eyes in your trap, so we'll know for next year so that the leprechauns don't escape. Okay, let's get started with our day by singing our song. Let's do that together. Good morning, it's a sunshine kind of day. Come join Miss Laura for some learning and some play. Will we sing a song? Of course we will. Make our brains strong, like super strong. So come along. Yes, come on, friends, for some learning and some play. All right, let me put my insect away and go through our visual schedule. So we're going to do our emotional check-in. We've been singing our Feeling Shark song, and you've been working on Eric Carle's book, The Tiny Seed. So we've been looking at the plant, parts of a plant life cycle, and today we're going to do more exploring and digging to see what we uncover. And we'll end our day with an activity and our goodbye song or a goodbye squeeze, depending on time. All right, you ready to check in with how you're feeling? Sing along with our song and see if you're feeling the way our Feeling Shark is feeling. Now, I know you know this tune because it's super popular. Here it goes. Ready? Feeling shark, do 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 do. Feeling shark, do 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 do. Feeling shark, do 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 do. Feeling shark. Feel so sad, do 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 do. Feel so sad, do 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 do. Feel so bad, do 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 do. Wants to cry. Now he's happy, do 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 do. Oh, so happy, do 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 do. Wants to smile, do 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 do. Wants to laugh. Now he's silly, do 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 do. Wants to dance, do 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 do. Maybe shout, do 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 do. Make a face. All right, now remember, you can sing that song and add in any way that you're feeling. And don't forget, check in throughout the day, not just once. Okay, let's see what's behind our board. Let me give you a clue. Now, last week we did a special letter. See if you recognize it for this week. I'm going to put a little line across the bottom and a big line down. Do you know what letter it is? It's the letter L. L for leprechaun, for Laura. I guess that's why I use it so much. And L for learn. So we're going to learn all about the plant life cycle today. So hopefully you've been doing some digging and some exploring in your backyard with your magnifying glasses and thinking like a scientist using your 5 senses. Okay, so here's our plant life cycle. So in our book, The Tiny Seed, at the beginning of the book, the seed was small and it floated through the wind. Do you remember what happened towards the end of the book? That's right, it became a big, giant flower. It went through its whole life cycle. So it started off as a tiny seed, and then it became a seedling. Now, I was a little confused about what a seedling was, but a seedling is when the seed begins to sprout, but you don't see the sprout above ground. So it's still underground. It's a little seedling, and then when it reaches the top of the ground, it becomes a sprout. So it reaches up, and then it becomes a full-grown plant. So it might have a flower, and it has lots of roots at the bottom. And then, remember I told you that the bees come and they pollinate the flower, and the pollen gets stuck to their bodies, and they move to other plants and flowers. and then they become seeds and seedlings and sprouts that pollinate and reproduce, and they may make seeds, and it goes on and on. That's why it's called a cycle. I hope that you've been exploring plants and flowers in your backyard using your magnifying glasses. I have brought a few things to share with you today. So the first thing in our plant cycle is seeds. So I brought a variety, that means lots of different seeds, to show you. So I brought this one, is one of the larger seeds. It's a gladiola, and it looks to me like an onion, but if you plant it, it makes a very large flower. Now, are all seeds the same? That's a question a scientist would ask, isn't it? Then they would use their 5 senses to figure out the answer. So look at these seeds. If you can see them here on my hand, they look like little green dots. These are pea seeds. They're a bit smaller than my gladiola seeds, aren't they? And then even smaller than that are carrot seeds. I'm really going to show you what these look like. Ooh, you can almost sprinkle these on somewhere. They're so tiny. Have you ever eaten a carrot before? All right, I'm going to put the carrot seeds there. So now we learned that seeds come in all shapes and all sizes. Well, just for good measure, these are my bean seeds. Put those there. So that's the first part of our plant cycle. What comes next? Little seedlings, right? Where it began to sprout from the seeds, and then tiny sprouts. So if I look at my flower that I explored another day, you can see little tiny sprouts beginning to form. It's going to be a little hard to see on the camera, but look, they're not quite flowers. They have tiny little leaves in there. And a tiny little stem, so no flowers. So that's the next part of our cycle. And then what comes next? So we have seeds, we have seedlings, sprouts, and then flowers, don't we? So I took a little branch from my tree. I have 4 cherry trees in my yard, and look what I've been seeing this whole week. If you've been exploring, you've been seeing this too. Lots of flowers. Now, this was a flower that we explored last time. They don't look the same, right? They're different colors. This is a branch with lots of different flowers. Look at that. Now, before we move on, I wanted to finish up an activity that I didn't get to finish up yesterday, and that was naming the parts of our plant. I'm going to write them down. Now, before we name them, I want to remind you of our plant life cycle, seed, seedling, sprout, and then plant. So now we're going to move on to what are the parts of the plant? Remember we explored that? So look at this part here, part of a plant. This part is called the flower. I just showed you what that looked like. Now if I was going to do some writing, I would want to think about the beginning sound, flower. It's a letter F. And then, ooh, flower, towards the end there. Ooh, flower. And then we talked about this green part yesterday, or the day before. It was called a stem. So you can see the stem in our flower here. It holds the flower up, doesn't it? Let me write the special sound for stem. S. T. E. M. Glad we had time to finish this up. And then these green things that are coming out of the plant are called leaves. Now I did bring you some leaves because my special letter L. I brought some leaves to share with you. Again, I love to explore. So this is a tiny little leaf here that I got from one of my plants. Now notice it kind of looks like to me like a dinosaur paw, like that. And then I brought this huge monstera leaf from plant. Look at that. It's almost as big as my head, isn't it? And then I brought this special leaf that I found because it had special markings on it. Look, it has ovals just like our hungry caterpillar's eyes. So leaves come in all shapes and sizes. Let's continue here with our leaf. Let me write that, leaves. And then our last thing that we needed to label that we didn't get to was roots. Now, do you remember what the roots did? We wrote it down here. The roots acted like straws, so they sucked all the water in from the ground, just like a straw does, and they brought it up to the plant and up through the leaves and into the flower to give it lots of nutrients and food. Well, I hope that this inspires you to go out into your own backyard and look for leaves and plants and seeds, because lots of things are changing right now with springtime on its way, or here. All right, boys and girls, we have just enough time to sing our goodbye song and for me to tell you what we're going to do tomorrow. Okay, so let's start singing our song. A, B, see you later. D, E, F, G, I'm gonna miss ya. H, I have to go now. J, K, bye-bye now. L, M, N, O, I had a good time. P, Q, are you gonna miss me? S, T, you are my best friend. V, W, X, Y, Z, and you're my best friend, and I hope that you get to come back tomorrow. We're gonna do some fun Eric Carle painting. So if you want to join me in the activity, you're going to need paints, you're going to need paper, and you're going to need some tools. So I brought with me a toothbrush, a fork, I brought different color paints, I even brought some beads that we can knock in to prepare our paper. And then what we're going to do is let that dry and cut it out so we can make a flower just like Eric Carle's tiny seed. And then that will end our week with plants and flowers and Eric Carle. Does that sound like a good plan? All right, my friends, I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Miss Lara is going to send lots of love your way and remind you, that if you have a picture of something that you found outside, to please send it here to the station, here at the address. If you send it here and you send us your address, you're going to get one of these fun activity books from our friends at Valley PBS. So, it has lots of things like mazes. You can use your colors to color in here. And of course, you'll make Miss Lara smile because I'll know that you're being super thinkers and super explorers. Okay, looks like now is just about time to say goodbye. So Miss Lara is going to send you a big squeeze like this. Ooh, and a big smooch like this. Mwah. And remind you to read and to play, to think like a scientist and use your 5 senses to explore every single day. Goodbye.